Still remember COVID.
Online travel company has reported a sharp slowdown in outbound trip bookings.
I think the optimistic view still continues to be anywhere between 15 to 20% for March. March first week, I was presenting to the board. I had given them 3 options. They didn't ask any questions. They looked at it and said, we don't want to be bad parents.
That's amazing. Not all investors are able to do
And then he said, this is the money you have. I won't tell you what to do. Just serve it till November, figure out and come back.
How many people stayed back?
So we were about 230 people. 130 people stayed back. Then wave 2 happened. That number became 60. Then wave 3 happened. The number became like 30, 35, right? Of the 35, I think almost 20, 25 people are still with us.
And today, what is your size?
Today about 450, 460 people.
We had a few conversations early back in the day as well. We were thinking about and deliberating. Do we do...
When you ditched investing in Pickyourtrail.
I wish I had.
Please cover this moment. It should be the starting.
I didn't have the money, otherwise I would have invested.
I never got an opportunity to
He couldn't reach you because you remember he was not emailing.
Now I can reach him. I'll ping you figures.
You had this auction thing that you did with R. Ashwin.
Yes.
How is Ashwin?
So we've been fortunate. They travel quite a bit with us. I said I jumped all in CSK first of all, and cricket. And Ashwin, I'm sure he's super intelligent.
Okay, who would you do a Dil Chahta Hai trip with?
Man, obviously.
The 2 of us?
Yeah. Why not?
Why not?
Hey, Varanasi can become
Let me start with this. What is happening here? What is happening here?
What are you doing, Hari?
Do you remember this?
Yes. In fact, we watched this video about a week back in office.
You did?
So this becomes the standard get to know your founder video.
What?
Only this one?
Thankfully.
Yeah, I think wonderful memories, right? I mean,
So
when they see this, they understand that I also have a side which can be like this. So
But this was iconic, you know.
I think the song is iconic.
You should tell people what this was.
So I think this was a Mile Sur Mera Tumhara video we tried recreating in our batch, and obviously we didn't know why we picked that song, but it turned out so well because I think our batch was multifaceted, right? We could recreate almost every state.
No, we chose it because of that as well, because it represented the batch composition,
Diversity.
which was like diverse from various
We
states.
got people from different states. So I think most of the people, we tried to make sure that we stay true to the origins of the people, the state that they represent: Karnataka, Tamil Nadu, Kashmir, Rajasthan,
Konkani,
Maharashtra,
everything
UP.
we did. Everything is fun, super fun.
It was super fun. And recently, I think one of the comedians, stand-up comedians, I think Ayo Shraddha, she did a piece on Mile Sur, and that made me go back and
I
look
think
at the
I'll
video
post it
again.
once on LinkedIn and just go
We
back.
should
just go back
no,
and
and we
recreate
didn't
it.
have social media the way
Back
it
then,
is
yes,
today.
Yes.
I mean, we had, but not.
I think
as-
we were in some sense ahead of our time because we actually uploaded this on YouTube.
Correct.
All of this we actually did it. I mean, I don't think.
And in fact, if you remember, we went to Pankaj Chandra, the director
Yes,
at the
and
time,
he also had a-
graciously agreed to be part of that video. And I was told, I don't know how true it is, but I was told that for the subsequent few years, they used to give that on a CD to every batch that would join
nice.
as an induction to join IIM Bangalore.
You guys were well ahead also when you started when you did your marketing project. Do you guys remember, the 2 of you? What category did you choose to do your marketing project on?
It was lingerie, right? If I'm not wrong. Yeah.
And what
I think
brand
so.
was
You
that?
won't be today. I was coming back.
Yeah.
I mean, from the airport. There's Amante right there, and I was like, "Wow, dude, it's a brand we worked on." Right? And I mean, we're on camera obviously, so I can't tell what Shobhit did, but
Yes.
there's so much that he did for customer research.
Yeah, he had
Right?
to.
So
He went really deep into
he
it.
went
you know?
extreme. I mean, I think there was also almost a couple of instances where people drove you out of some balconies because you were busy checking out.
Okay.
So, Hari, you're already getting under his skin. But what is this art which you have developed to get under people's skin? You know?
Yeah, I think this is this innate ability that you have, that you would appear on the screen, you would appear on the scene rather, and people would start to feel jittery. They will feel anxiety, panic attacks because you're there. Do you remember the sports, cricket, football, volleyball?
Even today, so we have sexy rocks. Sexy rocks.
The only reason we love you is because you were in our section.
Yeah. Every time we speak to some other section batchmates and your name comes up, you can see there's a chill down their spine because they remind of
I
the
just think
image
I'm
of-
passionate about things when I pick up, and sometimes the passion can kind of spillover, but it happens even today in Pickyourtrail is a ritual where we have sports day and there's auction, and I think sports is a great way for us to feel passionate and have purpose. And also I think sports teaches you that it's okay to fail, right? And failure is part of playing a sport. Sometimes when we grow up thinking winning is the only way and losing is wrong, sports is, I think, the best way for two things for me. One, it teaches you losing is part and parcel of the game. Second is that most sports stories, even now, if you see like cricketers from nowhere and becoming really massive, right? I think Mbappe, I think there's a beautiful article on Mbappe, how he grew up, right? And those are stories that truly inspire.
Yashasvi Jaiswal, Rinku Singh,
Yes.
I mean, it's a true leveler.
And it's inspiring. So I think that way sports, I've been fortunate that I took an interest to sports, and I think maybe, yes, that's why.
So, Hari, you went on to start your own company. Why didn't you choose either of us as your co-founder? Well, you're not good enough. I mean, and even Shobhit didn't choose me.
Once again,
Shobhit also didn't choose me when he started his first company. So I had to really kind of struggle and find
no,
where
it's
and
no.
how
I
can
think to
become a
set
co-founder.
records, right?
Yeah.
You are in some drilling hole off Indonesian coast, right? And just to meet you, I think would take us 3-4 months.
Yeah.
And that's one. Two, and
Of course,
affording
mobile
you-
was not available. Yeah.
obviously
Emails, who writes emails?
I think affordability is also important,
Yeah.
right? So I think that's something you have to keep in mind.
Yeah.
So,
I will.
but actually, I'd like to know, right, what got you to think of joining Shobhit? Because we talk about getting under people's skin.
Serendipity. I was doing boys trip every day with this guy, and then I was like, "This is fun. Why don't we just continue to do it the entire year?" And so I thought the best way to do it is just be together.
Kanika, if you're
It's a
watching,
boys'
please
trip.
Kalika.
No, for me it was pure serendipity, man. It was real fun looking at you guys. I mean, I'm very much inspired by what you have done in the past. Now, this is 12th year?
12 years done, yes.
Yeah, I mean, it's amazing. And you have been at it for, and we'll talk about it later, but we have a few more questions. So how many countries have you traveled so far?
44.
44. How many have you traveled so far?
25 maybe, nowhere near.
Probably I'll be somewhere in between.
Yeah.
When I used to be in Shambhaji, I used to travel quite a lot. And then
40.
Southeast Asia, you can cover 7, 8, 9 countries in one go.
That way, I think Singapore is beautiful hub.
It is.
Yeah. And then you go Europe, you cover 20 countries already.
I think the Euro trip was a game changer.
So now, Hari, coming to the beginning, the origin story of Hari Ganapathy. You're a physics graduate,
Yes.
and then you studied psychology, and then you ended up at IIM Bangalore. So maybe walk us through what childhood was like and the journey leading up to getting to IIM Bangalore, which is where we met for the first time.
See, Sreejan spoke about serendipity. I think I strongly believe in serendipity, and a lot of the journey has been serendipitous. So I never really knew that I would. I used to mock all of my batchmates who used to go through word power made easy to clear CAT, right? And I was like, I'm getting into physics and doing a master's
And where was this?
in Vivekananda, BSc Physics in Chennai.
Okay. And you grew up, born and brought up in?
I've lived across. So my dad, mom were in central government. So I lived across Hyderabad, north, south, multiple cities.
So before you started all this, you were already kind of reasonably well traveled.
So because they were central government, they had something like LTA, right? So it's every 4 years. So both of them, so every 2 years we get to travel.
Yes.
Obviously we did mostly temples, but I think apart from Northeast, where unfortunately no temples are there, I think every other state in India I visited. So I think Badrinath, Konark, I think that way travel was very much part of what we did as a family.
Yeah.
So coming back, I think I never really thought I want to be in IT, but I got a job in Cognizant, and I've been fortunate to have the right people along my journey. One of the people I looked up to at the point in time said, hey, don't restrict yourself what you will do for the next 30, 40 years. So if you got an opportunity, go just try.
Yeah.
I was confused. Should I pursue my master? Should I work? I've got an opportunity. I think in hindsight, it was a good decision. Worked in Cognizant, right? Understood testing. My tech team even today has grief because I started my career as a tester, right? So I wrote test cases. And I think that also gave me an opportunity to pursue German. I was doing German while in
When you
college.
came to IIMB, probably you were the only German speaker, or you were the only foreign language speaker
Linguist,
person. Yeah?
So in fact, we tried putting up a German club, but it didn't go through. And so happened that I had to prepare for CAT as well. So then I jumped into German full time. I became a freelance German interpreter. That was fun because
Wow.
something I learned in that phase was, and you generally look up to the Western world, and it's way back, right, 20 years back.
And was there a reason you chose German specifically?
Actually, see, I mean, in Chennai, in 11th and 12th, they teach French in a lot of schools.
Yeah.
Oh.
And Russian is very difficult to learn. So there are only 3, Alliance Française, Russian, and Goethe Institute. So I wanted to be slightly different, but not too difficult. So I picked up German. And I had a beautiful teacher in the first year.
Okay.
And I think Angelika ma'am was just amazing. So I just continued with that. And it just, one thing led to the other. And at some point, I dreamed of working in Germany as well, because you get to travel and stuff.
Yeah.
So I just stuck with it for 6-7 years. But it is just more.
And can you speak German even now?
Ja, ich kann auch, ja, Deutsch.
Oh.
Kannst du Deutsch?
Danke. Danke. Guten Morning.
Guten Morgen. Guten Morning.
Okay, so going back to IIM Bangalore, I tell Sreejan this, he doesn't believe, but I tend to have some
Vivid memory.
memory,
Please tell me.
especially the first time when I meet people. And I remember the first time I see you was on campus. It was near the outside the mess, outside the open area where the road would end. So I was there and I saw you had longish hair and you were wearing a blue t-shirt and jeans and you were wearing Ray-Ban. And you, the first day, and you were the only guy with the audacity to be wearing a Ray-Ban and you were just jumping around. You had this spring in your feet. And I was
Energy.
like, who is this guy? And from that day till the end of campus and even today, you have always managed to stand out, and a big part of that is just your energy levels.
Yeah.
Where does that come from, and how has that helped you in your journey of building Pickyourtrail?
So I think energy, I think genetic. So thanks to all ancestors, and I think some
It
part
can't
of
be fully genetic. It has to be something else as
So
well.
everyone in your family is as energetic as
my
you
mom is extremely energetic. I think
Yeah.
it just comes from her. But I think in general, you just like to be busy. I mean, you just don't want to. You got to have passion and
Yeah.
movement,
Yeah.
physics. So you just got to brownie and motion. All of this is going to be cut in BTS. I'm very sure. So I was gonna. So the trick about doing podcasts is when you don't want something to come, just keep going on saying bullshit for the next 30 seconds. So they have to cut it. It's very difficult to just catch the exact moment. Yeah. So coming back, it's genetic, much. You can't do anything.
You
about
were
it.
never high on any substance then. Yeah? It was just natural
Higher on
energy.
your own supply.
high on myself,
Yeah.
high on my own crazy stuff. But I think,
Yeah.
see, when you said that, I think when I was in school and there used to be PTA, every teacher would run up to my mom and say, how do you name him Hari? Hari is always in a hurry.
Yeah.
And in fact, one English teacher would say, you have spring, right, at the wrong place. That's why you never sit in your seat. I mean, it goes back to Newton's second law. All of us contribute in a state of rest or uniform motion unless and until an external force acts on us, the inertia. So in some sense, you got to keep pushing yourself. Otherwise, you get comfortable and
Coming into IIMB, what were you thinking to achieve out of it? Or were you like, no, I'll just go there and see what happens? And what would your advice be to the youngsters who want to follow your career as well, whether MBA helps or not?
So I think when we were studying, I think things were different. So I'll try and give contrast. So I was in Cognizant. The path was either get into on-site and then build your career there.
Yeah.
And I met my cousin, again, like I said, lucky with people. He said, hey, you know what, try giving an MBA because then it kind of expands. And I saw my business analyst, my project manager, they're more generalists, right, than being functional experts. And MBA was a great generalization stream, right?
Okay.
So that kind of was a first nudge towards my MBA, right? And when I came in that process, when I did the German interpretation, and in general, I felt I liked to understand people behavior. So marketing became a very natural calling, right? So even in fact, in my IIM interview, while IIM is a very generalized course, I told them I want to get into marketing and sales, and they asked me to sell something which they were having there, right? So I think having some sense of clarity helps, and that comes from more tapping into your own strengths. And sometimes even in our own internal logs, performance feedback, we tend to focus a lot on what you can improve.
Yeah.
But actually focusing on what you're really good at and amplifying that, I think is a great success story in my opinion. So having clarity, I think this generation, you have so many options, so many companies to work for. We didn't have so many startups. We just couldn't walk in and get a great, I know, we remember, right? I think it was one of those very few people in our batch who opted out of placements.
Chose not to sit
right?
on the placement.
And I still remember telling him he would just chill and you'd be cramming, right? And then he'd just be chilling, wearing his hoodie, and and then let's go for a movie later and we do tomorrow's an interview, right? So, but having that clarity really helped him, and he tried so many things that didn't scale. I think he sold flowers, right? And then you did worked with Ritesh, I think, right, in some semiconductor from Qualcomm, right? So I think he had that clarity. Obviously, one part is clarity, other part is also backing, right? So somewhere you got to have some sense of financial backing or stability to pursue some of your dreams.
Yes.
I think that is here. This generation has a lot more of financial stability than what the previous generations had.
Yeah.
So having clarity on why you want to do what you want to do, and I think the ages of 23 to 30 is where you can.
But when you say clarity, like Hari, you had a different kind of clarity than Shobhit had. You had a clarity that you would want to do sales and marketing. He had a clarity that I want to experiment. So I think both kind of can be termed as clarity in the way that you are clear that I want to experiment.
Yes,
I want
100%.
to try out new things, figure out what I want to do, which also is a clarity, isn't it?
Right. Yes. So I want to get into sales and marketing. You know how when we graduated, 2009, I mean, there's no way to get into brand marketing roles, right?
Yeah.
I was fortunate to get into Britannia. And I remember him telling InMobi there's a role, do you want to try? Right? And to be honest, at the point in time, I even applied because we were doing long distance marriage.
Yeah.
And we wanted to be in the same city.
Yeah.
But I never had clarity to do something on my own.
Yeah.
Right. But even now, what I enjoy in what I'm doing is people, right? Building a team, building an organization is what gives me the kick and joy. So I think somewhere knowing what you're really, because it is draining, right? I mean, you guys have also worked, so it's draining, it is telling, right? Like we were chatting before this, I believe the reward for solving problems is more problems.
Yes.
So unless you're clear about why you're doing what you're doing, it's very difficult to sustain and build something generational.
Yes.
And even that is clarity. I know a lot of my founder friends who love flipping and selling and move. It takes insane amount of courage to build, flip, right? Same as it takes courage to just build something generational. So having that clarity, when we started Pickyourtrail, I knew that I was not cut out for flipping and growing fast. And
so just going back to again, whether you should do an MBA or not MBA, what you are saying is that people should have some kind of clarity before they embark on this journey of MBA.
Yes,
and if you have that, then you can get best out of it.
It's an exponential multiplier. I mean, all of us in our batches, we have all our batchmates now with different roles, right? Different designations. And I think in this time and age, the kind of exposure you get in a startup by working in a fast growing startup, I think is a lot more. And then if you can do that really well and then trade off that 4-5 years of work X, and if you really get lucky, you might even hit a jackpot and kill a lot of wealth. But that experience will more than complement you when you get into your MBA. And there are multiple now executive MBAs, 1-year course MBAs. Like my wife, she worked for almost 15 years. Then she went to Harvard for an exec MBA. So I think there are multiple ways to pursue that generic knowledge and network. And now I think it is great to start work somewhere, put yourself out there, do multiple things. Even if you don't know what is your strength, I'm sure you guys would allow somebody who's smart and high agency to do 5 things. That's the best way to learn.
So, Hari, going back to the campus days, I remember, and we'll come to Pickyourtrail because that's an interesting story as well. But leading up to that, on campus, you were always into, we made a few ad reels. Of course, you made Mile Sur Mera Tumhara. And it was very clear to me as a close friend, I knew that you were destined to be doing consumer products, marketing for consumer products, which was Unilever, P&G, Nestle, Britannia. At the time you landed at Britannia. And I remember we used to chat when you were having your stints in the hinterlands of North India and places like Punjab,
Yes.
where you were selling biscuits. And I clearly remember you narrated me a story about how you were trying to compete with Parle G, and it was the number of biscuits that you would put in. If the biscuit is too thin, you dip it in the tea and the biscuit will fall off.
Yes.
The experience is bad. And it was very, very challenging to compete in that kind of environment. And I still recall that. What was that experience like for someone like you coming from this part of India, just directly thrown into the wilderness, having to sell consumer products in the remotest parts of Punjab? You didn't speak much Hindi at the time.
Thanks.
And by the time you finished that stint, when I met you, you were a transformed person. What was that stint like, and what did you learn from that?
I mean, unfortunately, fortunately, all South Indians, the North Indians, you being boisterous and loud, you guys would rag us like crazy.
Not as
right?
loud as you.
Come on, Sreejan. Anyways, I think that stint really pushed me to, while I learned Hindi, I could never speak Hindi like Sreejan said, and that stint gave me an opportunity to kind of connect with people. And North is a different beast. I mean, coming from South, you're used to a different way of life and general behavior, right? I mean, if you even take festivals, most South Indian festivals are about food and generally being at home and watching TV. But North Indian festivals, I remember,
It's on the street.
it's on the street, you're out, right? Lori, Pongal. I remember Pongal is
Holi,
a big thing from where I come. There, Shankranti and Lori is just about having fun, right? And I think just that way of, and you talk about energy, right? I think the energy people bring in FMCG is insane because every day you got to wake up 30 stores in a beat, then keep selling the same biscuits, filling the shelves. And there's so much of brand pull that's needed to take it off the shelf. So that entire experience, and I still remember, I was in Pune, Sangamner, I was doing a upmarket stint. And there's this culture of boss in FMCG, right? So my SO, sales officer, had told the distributor that boss RN types. And we're going in a bus, landing in Sangamner. And I'm carrying a big suitcase. I'm getting down the steps of the bus. I can see the distributor there because I can see someone looking. So mostly it's distributor. And he's looking over my shoulder. So he doesn't realize it's me. So looking behind, piche, kaun hai, kahan pe hai, boss types. And I walked past him, put the suitcase and stood. And I waited for that moment. The SO came down. He's like, kahan hai? I was like, piche hai. He looks at me, he's giving me a glance. He's like, dude, I'm hardly 25. The guy is at least 45, 50. He has more experience than my age. And to win people's trust, right? Because you can't command a team if you don't win their trust, right? I think that was a beautiful experience. And luckily, I gravitated to something that I knew, which is data, right? One. And two, I was willing to do the market. So that stint helped me understand the power of earning respect through ways in which the team understands and how when you earn their respect, they go any mile to make it happen for you.
And for that stint, because selling products to consumers, these large companies, I think somewhere they train you to understand consumer behavior and their psychology as well. Has that helped you in your journey at Pickyourtrail as well?
100%. I think the core focus of starting with the customer, I think if you see Amazon also, that's one of the key principles they have is start with the customer. That's pretty much in FMCG because like suddenly, if let's say Tiger is not selling, right? You just can't say it's not selling. You got to go to the market, right? Figure out, speak to distributors. Is there a scheme running? Is there an issue with the product? Is there a breakage? Many things could lead to why the product is not moving, right? While marketing does its consumer surveys, right? When you understand the full funnel, they think of NPD, they talk to customers, come up with a product, they launch the product, think of distribute it, then you understand more from the customers. So I think starting with the customer is a very, very critical part. And I think one thing, for example, in Punjab, in Good Day, the pistachio sells a lot. Do you know why?
Why?
India's the largest pistachio market is in Punjab. Why?
Borders Pakistan.
Why? Yes. Yes. Why? The packaging is green.
Okay.
So a lot of people buy that because the bordering country is there and it's just there. I mean, how would you know this? I mean, that's
very, it's a very
right.
good
So,
insight. So would you talk to consumers directly as well?
Yes. So in my stint, I think I was lucky enough to do a marketing stint where we do focus group discussions, we do probes. And I did remember one stint in Punjab when my marketing manager come along, I tagged along. Punjab, we were talking about NutriChoice. It's a health category of Britannia, right? Yeah. So we're talking to housewives, right? And we'd go into, so beautiful. You end up going into these houses, you stay in, like how we are in your house right now. You get into their house, their living room, and they're chatting with them, right? And I'm like a Tamilian, right? So I didn't understand much of Hindi at the point in time. Every housewife is like, मैं बहुत healthy हूँ, तो मैं NutriChoice खा रही हूँ. I'm like, if you're healthy, why you're having a NutriChoice biscuit, right? Then I realized healthy means you're slightly plump, right? And so then they're telling you why they're eating it. And the vulnerability you have when you peel, they're like, no, my son doesn't call me to PTA meeting, right? I'm not there. And so you learn so much of, it's eventually a biscuit, right? But what motivates, drives that purchase decision is so many things.
So
right?
the Gen Zs who nowadays, when you go to the university campuses, placement is hogged by tech startups and of course banks, consulting firms. There are still people, actually we were in IIM Bangalore a few weeks ago and the Career Development Center thankfully told us that there are people who still want to do Unilever and P&G and Nestle and so on. What would you tell the young people who are considering joining a consumer CPG or FMCG company? Why should they join and what is the experience that they will get?
If you're clear that at some point you want to run a P&L, if you want to build something or be responsible for line of business, I think hands down, while yes, I mean, there's no one straight path, but my path I would strongly recommend is you look at a sales career starting with, because one, you are put in situations where, like you said, Punjab, unknown area. I've never had roti in my life so much, right? Rice eater.
Yeah.
So it helps you adapt. It helps you work with different people, different cultures. And that customer focus really helps you in building a business, because eventually, I think now with AI, more and more tech coming through, a lot of stuff is going automated, but probing, understanding why, what motivates people, what drives people, and eventually, whatever size of business you build, the team is what actually builds it, right? Your job is to build the team after a point.
Yeah.
So that people skills, I think, is very critical, and a CPG experience really gives you, while from a monetary perspective, it may not be on par to start with, but I think from an experience perspective, even 2-3 years, I think would be very, very useful.
But on the monetary side as well, Hari, I mean, today youngsters are also worried about, what career path should I choose to be able to earn sufficient money. And my sense is, and I think Shobhit will agree as well, that if you have been at it for long periods of time, money would eventually come. Money comes in any kind of career. If you're very good in marketing, you'll make a lot of money. If you're very good in banking, you'll make a lot of money. So I think people get driven by this a lot during the initial stages of your career. But I think they need to understand as well that any career they choose, they should or would be able to earn enough money. Do you think that would be the case in marketing, sales, and?
I think 100%. I think the three of us have done a good job of keeping our hairs black. Yeah. But if you remember,
me more than the two of you.
Yes, 100%. Right. So, but
we
if you
have done
remember,
a good job of retaining hair. By the way.
That is also okay. Yeah, for you, yes, I understand. It's a big achievement. Right? So, but if you remember when we were in campus, right, the current Gen Z age, we would get exactly people like this coming and telling us in these career development kind of stuff that eventually, if you keep at it, we will like, Sala aa gaya aise dimag khane ke liye, right? And Placecom would put attendance. I mean, so it's, I think all of us go through the same cycle. At that point, it feels important, but eventually at this age, you will realize that, see, even in our company, I'd love planning trips for people. Now there are two segments are emerging. One is, no offense to Gen Z is watching, but this Gen Z crowd, our average honeymoon age was 24. Now it's 28. So they have 4 to 5 years where they have disposable income, but don't have partners to travel with. That's one segment. And there's this emerging 40 plus segment where the kids have either gone off study in Singapore, US, or they have realized I've slogged hard enough. I'd anyway pick this than this. Because this segment is more grateful. They've gone through the ups and downs and they understand that, boss, in travel things go.
They are not seeking instant gratification.
Here, it's like, I mean, if they travel on their own, right, and a flight gets delayed, how I spent 24 hours in Bangkok airport. Good you. Or you are responsible for this. I'm like, dude, just chill. Right? I mean, I think this rage culture is way too much, and instant gratification is, I look at 10 minutes, mein sab kuch chahiye. Our life doesn't work that way.
No, I mean, they have not gone through that experience. So
and the last 10 years have been crazy, right? Everybody, anything you touch in India has turned to gold.
Yes.
So I think
I think the flip side of it is, when we were young, when we were Gen Zs of our era, I think we didn't have so much of awareness as well.
And choice.
I think people today, Gen Zs of today, they are much more aware. They have a lot of choices, but they are also, aware of what.
See, Sreejan, but here you got to also ask and reflect. I see it in the floor. There's awareness, but awareness also creates pressure. Yes. They're like, I didn't apply for Zomato IPO. I didn't do. You're 22. Just live your life. By 22, you should have cracked stock market. You should have cracked credit card points. You should have cracked a house. You want a car. At 22, if you do all of this, at 40, what will you do? I mean, maybe that's why people want to go to Mars. Maybe when they're 40, they'll all be wanting to go to Mars. But that pressure is insane. And then when you have so much pressure, I think you end up taking choices which. Yeah. When I was in iBanking, right, I was very fortunate to have, like I said, good people. My mentor, he told me, while I might have gotten PPO in Macquarie.
Yeah. This was in Hong Kong?
Hong Kong. He had a very nice heart-to-heart chat. He said, see, Hari, if you don't like it, you can't survive. Yeah. And the real money in investment banking is when you become partner and upwards. Yeah. That's 10 years. Yeah. You got to give 10 years to become something where you still make a lot of money. But the real money is after 10 years, when you get a cut of the deal.
Yeah.
And if you can't sustain, you've lost your career formative years.
Yes.
Doing something which is not useful for the rest of your life. Yeah. I think that's something I'm sure it's not something we can, the more things change, the more they remain the same. But yes, there's a lot more awareness and hopefully people, and with more career paths coming in now, like for example, you take Avik now, Avik's doing sports, right? I mean, it's crazy, right? That's a legitimate career path to pursue sports.
So let's go back to now a critical point in your life where
I got married.
That too.
Actually, that's also an important
No, no.
one. And
Go ahead.
but I think in your case, Vandana and you had known each other for a long
Donkey's
time,
years,
so
yeah.
it was just a matter of time. But
And even then, she decided to marry you.
Look at that.
that is
She's brave.
She
Yeah.
is
Amazing.
brave and
You-
rational and irrational at the same time, like a lot of the Indian consumers.
So talking about, sorry, I just cut later on, but I won't leave this point. Talk about rational, irrational, right? Airports are one of those very few places which are built for this exact use case.
Yes.
People like you who've traveled quite a bit just want to cut through all the noise and get into the flight.
Yes.
And there are people who like Pickyourtrail customers for whom the airport is also where the holiday starts.
Yeah, it's
Yes.
an experience.
Right? It's an experience.
Yeah.
So imagine building a product, which is the airport, which is built for two opposite polarized ends, where some business travelers are going to cut through and just get to the least path of friction.
Yeah.
Here they want to go to the shop, amble, slowly come. They spend 4 hours just to enjoy the airport.
This is what we do at Profius as well, you know, the company which Shobhit and I are building together, which is understanding some of these consumer sentiments and behavior, and then designing the physical spaces as well. You know? And it is very interesting, you know, this we see, and Changi Airport especially, it is built to cater to such kind of
There's so many.
two polar, you know, different kind of travelers. You have enough places where you can go and enjoy, but if you don't want to waste time, 5 minutes you are on the aircraft.
So we were at InMobi, and then you left InMobi, and you had been traveling by that time. Travel was something that you really, really were passionate about. And then you decided to start Pickyourtrail. You started it with your friend Srinath. Both of you were traveling a lot. A lot of people say they are passionate about XYZ and hence they are doing what they're doing. But in your case, I had no doubts about it. What was the process of thinking through that? Because I'm sure there people would have said that how are you going to scale this? Travel as a category was not necessarily in favor. It was not necessarily a very venture backable business. I don't know if that has
Even
changed
today,
now. How did you navigate through all of these things? Or did you say that I'm not going to listen to anyone, I'm just going to do it and then we'll figure out along the way?
So I think one goes which point of time you are in life. I think if not then we would have got into kids and family responsibility. So it was a moment of, if not now, when.
So you were married at that time?
We were married, yes. We were married. We were
But
about
no
2 years.
kids.
No kids.
Yeah.
No kids point in time. And we came fresh from a Europe trip where we had 3 trips. Srinath wanted to do some bit of it alone. Me, Vandana and Srinath did something together. Then my parents and her parents did some parts. So with 3 trips within 1 trip. And the flexibility we managed to build within that. We thought, hey, this is interesting. One, we love travel. And there we met people who were in these package tours, right? Everybody's being coach tours. And we said, is there an opportunity for a customized holiday brand? That's how it started. And then obviously MBA does this to you 2 by 2. How big is the market, right? And we figured out, okay, the entire activity space is a blue ocean.
Yeah, it's huge.
Right? So we said, chalo, usme jayenge. And then standard, we speak to customers. I remember speaking to some of you batchmates. Everybody's like, yes. I book hotels and flights. I don't know what to do when I go to a city.
Yeah.
Massive idea. We said, chalo, maza aayega. We'll build it. We built the entire, we didn't know tech. So we went to someone and said, can you build our tech? We
So
outsourced
it
tech.
was just the 2 of you decided.
So Vandana wanted to join. So
Okay.
3 of us are directors even today, right? She wanted to join, and then at some point I think I figured out that what if, and so we said, please work. So at least one person has to sustain the house.
I think that she has done pretty well.
Touch wood. Really, I think if you want to pursue something, you need not just luck, but you need backing and family support is number 1, right? So we started with the activity marketplace, and everybody said massive. Hoga, calm.
Activity as in experiences.
Experiences, right? So let's say culture tour of Chennai or food tour of Delhi,
This is
right?
before Airbnb came with their experience.
Airbnb, yes, Airbnb came now, right? So it was before Klook, before Get Your Guide, all of these guys. And in that process, we realized 2-3 things. One is there was no hook to book in an activity. In flights, pricing and availability are very big hooks to book. 2, like people are tired. They're tired of searching for flights and hotels. But again, going back to customers, we heard from customers that putting an entire holiday together was a bigger pain. That's 1. 2, we realized India market was not as mature as we thought it would be. Even the few bookings we got, we had huge trouble standardizing services. And so
This is
eventually
when you say India market, booking a holiday in India as
booking
a
an
destination.
activity experience in India was a big challenge because I remember we booked 2 trips which really colossally failed. We had a bunch of foreigners coming in. One was a trip in northern part of India for culture, and the guy just pawned off, my mom's ill.
Oh.
I mean, what do we do? Then there's another was one culture tour of South India, and in that case the vehicle like kind of didn't work. There was a breakdown and took them almost like 12 hours to repair the vehicle, and then you just stranded, right? I mean, that's when we realized, okay, maybe, and it's way back 2013, 14, maybe some more time. Uber had just come in.
Yeah.
If you see, remember that time, right?
Yeah.
So I think we gave it time and we moved to outbound, international, and we moved to full stack. The moment we moved to full stack, see, also 2013 we launched as a marketplace because marketplace was venture fundable,
Yeah.
Yes.
right? So there was Jabong, Shopclose, Myntra, everybody was starting a marketplace then, Flipkart. So we said, हम भी marketplace चलाएंगे, पैसा उठाएंगे, IIM है, तो हो जाएगा, all easy.
And marketplace for you was
Activities marketplace.
traveler. Okay, activity.
Traveler, right?
Okay.
So you want to book an experience, you booked a hotel and a flight.
Yeah.
You're doing something in Bangalore, I'll give you 10 things to do in Bangalore,
Yes.
right? But it just didn't take off.
And customers told you that we want you to do the whole thing. We
In
don't
the
want
customer
bits.
calls, we realized that people were having trouble putting together an itinerary, right? The job of hopping multiple websites and putting together an itinerary was a big challenge.
Yeah.
But the problem then was you had to become a full stack brand and not a marketplace. So you got to own the customer experience end to end, right? Which means I had to understand supply, which means whatever tech I had built was irrelevant. And we didn't come from travel. So building a marketplace is very different from building a customer brand where you understand supply, what can go wrong on a holiday.
Yeah.
So then
And this was Indian customers that want to book international
yes,
holidays.
we got to know in the process that putting together a trip was difficult. And because we learned that India was not most, tech driven, professionalized, if we try, we do it international, right?
But how important was it building this along with getting customer feedback? Because it seems like at every stage you were interacting a lot with the customers and taking their inputs and making sure that, you build a product or a service accordingly.
Yeah, I think that's where there's one philosophy of Apple which says, customers may not know what they want, but for example, things will change generationally. Right?
Yes.
What I mean by that is 10-minute delivery is a very big shift, right? Amazon, if you see, actually, Bezos says that people want it cheap, people want it fast.
Yeah.
But he never could believe that they wanted fast within 10 minutes.
Yes.
Right? Prime was still Amazon's claim to fame, right?
Yeah.
Just 24 hours, same day, next day delivery.
Yeah.
But 10 minutes they couldn't predict.
Yeah.
So some of those things are very difficult to predict, but
I think 10 days is also just an Indian phenomenon.
10 minutes.
10 minutes, yeah.
10 minutes is only an Indian phenomenon. I don't think in US people necessarily need 10 minutes delivery.
I think it's a more structured, planned life. So I think yes, to an extent, yes. So I think it is very much part of how we build. Even today, one of the key mandates in the org across levels is to talk to customers every day.
Yeah.
I think either we should be either talking to customers or listening to customer calls.
And while you were building this, Hari, how were you thinking about financing it? Because we had a few conversations early back in the day as well. You were thinking about and deliberating, do we do...
When you ditched
VC
investing in Pickyourtrail.
I wish I had.
Please cover this moment. You should be starting.
I didn't have the money, otherwise I would have invested. But
okay, can I get my
Well,
shares
I
now?
never got an opportunity to
She
invest.
didn't. Even now, guys, hope you're recording all of this.
He couldn't reach you because you remember he was
No,
not emailing.
now
at
I can
that
reach
time.
him. I'll ping you, Sreejan.
Yes, please do.
But when you were going through that process, how did you think about? I'm sure there were people that helped you. They were guiding you. They were advising you. You did raise some capital, but I think from individuals, not from VCs. How did you think about? And did it create some kind of stress and anxiety in you? How did you manage that while you were thinking about financing and growing this, getting this off the ground?
So when we moved to full stack brand, right, we knew we had to kind of then play a much more longer game. When we started, we said we'll give ourselves 2 years. InMobi was kind enough to say you're always welcome back. So we said 2 years, worst case, we'll get to know enough about travel that it'll subsidize travel for us when we travel. That's the opportunity cost. But the moment we realized in 6 months, in 2014 mid, that we had to move full stack brand, then we moved to Chennai because Chennai was where roots were. The moment we had to build long term, and even at the point in time, not many travel companies were funded in India, right? Make My Trip for its longest period was not profitable.
Yeah.
Last 2-3 years when they're profitable. So the category is a very exciting category, right? From a VC fundable business. So I think it was a good decision to come back because then suddenly your some of the stress is also because of runway and time, right? So I think I strongly believe in that thing that time is a moat. which is what Sreejan said. If you work for 15 years, if you commit yourself to something 15 years, you'll eventually make money. And I think if you're good at it, even half good at it, you'll make money. It was a good, smart move. We came back and then we committed to bootstrapping it. Like Sreejan said, we didn't know about the customer enough. So we booked trips, we made mistakes, we applied for visas, we did customer support in Australia time zone, India, US time zone.
And how many people were you there at that time?
First year, we were about 5 people. Second year, we were about 10 people. Third year, we moved to about 25 people. Fourth year, we were about 40, 50 people. So the first 5 years, we bootstrapped. Like in Paul Graham's words, we did things that didn't scale, right, for a long period of time.
And bootstrap because you wanted to do that, or you went out for financing? But
we did try raising money, and it's not that we were successful. It's that people felt that, hey, it is difficult to scale this business. Nobody has scaled this globally. There were no comparables also. Even today, our biggest, advantage / challenge is, there are not enough comparables. There are companies world over now emerging, but then way back, it was not there. So many VCs we've spoken to, right, who've said, okay, get to X, we'll figure out. Then get to Y, you'll figure out, right? The complexity of the business increases. For example, now, Indigo, we know what happened. It was just mayhem for 2-3 days because people travel for multiple reasons. People travel on work, people are traveling on a holiday, people are traveling for an anniversary. All of that emotion pours in that moment. And you just got to still handle. And you can't really add more servers to handle website load, right? So what do you do? And there's only a finite number of people. You can't train them at the will of, right? So I think that's the tricky part about this business is that just before there was Sri Lanka floods, right? I mean, so everything and anything affects this business, but I think that's the moat. I think over time, if you keep at it, the fact that you've survived all of this becomes a moat. And for anybody to come in, will they run the marathon? It's a big question.
It's a somewhat thankless category as well. If you do your job very well, it's not like you will always get. Sometimes you get.
It's almost like the boarding gate of a flight where the lady who says have a nice flight. If the flight is on time, you will say thank you and you'll move on. But if the flight is delayed, then all of your fury is going to be unleashed on that person.
It's a challenging category in itself because people want to enjoy or people want to have their own experiences and all. And if you give it to them, they are okay. They won't complain. But it's not like they'll go, oh, wow, this is the best experience.
I think if you do, we see our entire brand pushing now is super hit holidays, right? So the insight there was exactly this. If you make a holiday a super hit, right, then in every trip you're planning, somebody is the lead planner. Right? Somebody takes the lead and plans the trip. That lead planner becomes the hero of the holiday. And therefore, when you speak to the hero of the holiday, saying that the pressure the hero has to get the trip right. Now, Kalika will, if you take a break and you got to get it right for her, right? So I think that is the insight we're trying to work on, saying how does Pickyourtrail become a brand that is consistent for a super hit holiday? And travel as a category lends itself to upsell. You start with Dubai, then you want to go to Europe, then Africa, then New Zealand, then you have a kid, you want to go back to Singapore. So it kind of keeps easy to you have to think about new products. Right, to stay
relevant. So do you keep track of customer life cycle?
Yes.
Customer who started with you, let's say, do you have customers who started with you 10 years back?
45 trips they done with us. There are a bunch of customers. So
you keep somehow track of it?
See, the good thing is from day one, we knew when we spoke to all of these VCs, it was very clear, and that's where InMobi also helped, is the power of tech. Right. Tech can fundamentally change your scalability possibility, right? So I think we focused on tech. We built our own CRM. Some of these information we have from day one because that we have had that. I strongly feel that helps you from a customer perspective, where they've been, their preferences. Some customers we know love room with a view. Right. Then you don't want to keep reinventing the wheel for them.
That's a powerful data set which you have, which you can use. And now with AI, are you able to, kind of use that data better? And
one thing I would redo if I started is that data sanity, right? Somewhere as you grow, you're focusing on growth. And the first thing that takes a hit is the data sanity, right? Your email capture goes wrong. Simple things, right? So your passport details are
stored. You're like, we'll take care of it later, but that later never comes.
Now we're trying to go back and change some of that. But yes, whatever we have, we try and make use. But I think increasingly, we are seeing there's a lot of opportunity. And now what's also happening, Sreejan, is initially, I don't know how you guys were, but people who take one big holiday. Right. Now people are just traveling left, right, center. Right. It was in our times, it was a blasphemy for our parents to leave us and go on a holiday.
Yes.
It
of
is
course.
unthinkable, right?
Yeah.
Now, I'm sure you guys are looking forward to that one trip, alone time, me
Yeah.
time, right?
Yeah,
So,
Behavior
customer
has-
preference also changing left, right, center,
it
and
has evolved a lot.
keeping that and making sense of that is I think itself a moat
Yes.
nowadays.
So, before we move on to the next chapter of Pick Your Trail, what would you say to the young people who, and I'm sure all of us at some point, as a consumer, if we like food, we would have wanted to start a restaurant. If we like traveling, we would have wanted to start our own version of Pick Your Trail. We all have hobbies and passions. People who are thinking of converting that into something of a profession or a career, what advice would you give them?
See, first thing is you got to be very honest to yourself on how long you have and how much you want to give as a time, because food as a business is very, very difficult, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's a difficult business to scale, a very high capex, so you got to have some bit of wherewithal to do that. So having clarity on are you in for the long short, I think is very critical. Then I think finding a bunch of people around you who are going to keep you sane, having that circle is very critical.
Yeah.
And whatever is family, having family support also goes a long way. I think your own passion truly, I think, is a great way, and especially in AI now, I think it's going to get more and more easy to build something, right?
Yeah.
What is called vibe coding.
And so within the travel industry, what pockets do you think there are opportunities where people
Big
can start to?
opportunities. I was just talking to someone who just does, may interest both of you, golf tours.
Oh, wow.
Right? I mean, just golf tours. I mean, travel is a beautiful category because there's so many interest segment groups, right?
Yes.
There's golf, right?
And
There
the
is-
same person can be in different groups as
Yes.
well,
The persona, this goes back to data question, right? If you actually get the persona to a large extent, expand and say, okay, this person who plays golf, right, mostly will also like, let's say, motorcycle or adventure. So I think there are a lot of packets. Pilgrimage is a massive category, right? I strongly believe the entire 40, 50 plus segment, India has not seen people with a lot of money. Imagine 10 years from now, our entire batch, the batches after us,
Or sports.
sports
People
is
going
massive.
around for Formula
Yes.
One.
I have now people not around that Sreejan. I have people now, I mean, that's the thing about India, who hire grounds
Yeah.
in Sri Lanka, in England, and then play with local teams.
Cricket.
Yeah, cricket. That's now
wow.
on my bucket list. I want to just go play in Gaul. Imagine you're playing in Gaul.
Yeah.
You're playing in Gaul with the sea breeze coming through,
Wow.
and you can never dream of it in India.
We should
We
do
can.
that.
We should do that. I think it's
Yeah,
a
right.
very
We should.
nice thing. You know,
And
you
it's
go there
a
and,
6 days.
Yes.
So day 1 play a match, day 2 rest, day 3 play a match, day 4 rest, day 5 play a match. You get 3 games.
Yeah.
It's a
That
week-long
is-
vacation, and then you get to do whatever you want. Crazy.
You touched upon pilgrimage as a category. Do you see what kind of people go for pilgrimage travel tours these days? And do you see Gen Z going for that as well?
Pilgrimage is a category. Honestly, we don't do much of it, but clearly there's this entire, especially after the Ram Mandir, is one massive upsurge in terms of pilgrimage, right? So I think Odisha, Ayodhya, Varanasi, Rameshwaram, Tirupati, these 5 centers put together like attract crazy amount of footfalls.
Yeah.
It's a known thing. Gen Z's, I'm not honestly sure, but I'm sure, like, I see some of my own team members, colleagues, there's a lot of move towards spirituality, stoicism,
Yes.
right? So I see people
Definitely.
randomly dropping quotes in internal channels on stoicism, right? And so I'm sure
Social media is fueling that as well.
Maybe.
I guess. Which is
So
not
that's
a
the thing.
bad
I mean,
thing,
you
yeah?
look at it. I don't know if you in Advaita rose in India because Buddhism really caught up,
Yeah.
right? So Adi Shankara had to then kind of come back and say this is Advaita, right? And now I think social media is funneling 2-3 more.
Going back to a very critical time of Pick Your Trail. This is COVID happened. And I remember we had a chat, we had a Zoom call during one of those. Because when COVID happened, all of us were, seconded to our homes, and we were just getting used to this new way of living. And one of the things that would come to me was, my God, this is going to be challenging for you guys. I don't know how you guys are going to survive. If I'm not wrong, most of the people stayed back, and you gave them the option. So can you just tell us the story of what happened and how? Because I think it's one of the most important ingredients in your success, which is just resilience and just going through a very tough time.
Super. I think I'll just touch upon one thing you asked also is about, how do you plan to start and funding. I think very fortunate to have the investors we had, because I still remember COVID, March first week, I was presenting to the board. I had given them 3 options. Key option A, this is the amount of money we have in the bank. We fold and we give the money back to you. Option 2, to survive so long, I need so much more capital. Right? Option 3, we kind of cut half the team, extend the runway. That's the 3 options we presented. I thought very smart. Standard MBA. They got some advice. Sahi hai, 3 options. Now they'll pick something.
Yeah.
They listened and the image I presented. Right? They didn't ask any questions. They looked at it and said, we don't want to be bad parents.
That's amazing. You know,
That's
not
it.
all investors are able to do.
And then he
these
said,
businesses.
this is the money you have. You have to survive till November. Right? I won't tell you what to do. Just survive till November, figure out and come back. But in my advice, in my experience, they just said that try and retain the team as much as you can.
Yeah.
Now this was not part of any of the plan.
Yeah.
Right. So then we had to go back, figure out. And I remember it was Sunday.
Yeah.
Right. We called some key people from the org to the office. And then we told this is what's happened. Right. We only have so much runway, and which means almost 67% pay cut everybody had to take for us to survive. Right. And we said it's not fair for us to say who has to stay, who has to leave. So I think the best thing to do is keep everyone. And then March 2nd week came and everybody had to disseminate the news. The office is buzzing in general. And there was, it literally felt like, you know, the Varanasi Ghats where it's like, you know, very, very solemn and there's no life.
Yes.
Everybody's talking to each other. Are you staying? Are you leaving? Are you staying? Are you leaving? What's happening?
And so this team was clear that you wanted to, and you and the management wanted to retain everyone.
Yes, we are very clear.
Okay.
Everybody takes a 67% pay cut.
Okay.
And you were transparent. You
we just said that.
disseminate.
That's it. November, we had to stay till November. There's the money in the bank.
And when you were disseminating this news, Hari, you didn't have any second thoughts that, oh, should I tell the whole team? Should I just tell a core group?
So in Pickyourtrail, transparency is a core value. So I think our numbers are out there for people, right? Our customer happiness scores are out there for people. So I think it came naturally that you have to see in sales. I learned in FMCG again, right? They generally give targets with buffers. My boss taught me that buffer is an inefficient system, right? So as long as it is difficult, my team didn't trust me. When I came and went and told them there's a number, target, they're like, boss, aapka ek number hoga, wo batao aap mera hai. I said, sabka ek hi number hai. It took them 2-3 months, but the moment they picked it up, then they knew I was also, my salary was also linked to their salary, right? My variable pay was linked to their variable pay. I think that transparency was very important. And a lot of people who stayed back, in fact, loved the transparency.
How many people stayed back? What percentage?
So we were about 230 people. Almost 130 people stayed back.
Okay, that's a big number. Yeah?
We also had waves, right? 130 people stayed back. Then wave 2 happened. That number became 60. Then wave 3 happened. The number became like 30, 35, right? Of the 35, I think almost 20, 25 people are still with us.
And today, what is your size?
Today, about 450, 460 people.
So you went down from roughly 230 to 25 people during COVID.
Yes.
This is interesting because in some way, Hari, this also helps build the culture of the company as well, isn't it? Because you and the management and the founders have certain things in mind and you want to make sure that this culture is what everyone in the company follows. And so it's a good thing if people leave who cannot adhere to what you believe should be the culture of the company.
And the people who stayed back, those 25 people, which are most of who are still there, why did they stay back? And what do they say about, and what do you tell them now?
Some of those people who stayed back, in fact, some of them are now in senior positions in the org, running some parts of design, product, customer experience, technology, right, sales. I think we're just fortunate. I think one part, they truly feel that they belong and they want to make a difference.
They have ownership as well. Yeah?
Very strong ownership, right? And what they really liked is the fact that one, is transparent. Two, we didn't decide who should stay and leave, right? And I think InMobi, Britannia, wherever I've worked, Reckitt I've been fortunate is somewhere exits need not be painful. Right? I mean, it's a very natural progression, right? And it is pretty much a great thing for orgs to evolve and people to evolve. So as long as you're able to do it in a graceful fashion both ways, I think people love it. In fact, one of my other things I wish we will do better going forward is we have an alumni channel in Slack. I wish the alumni channel was more buzzing. Today I was for a wedding. It's an ex-Pickyourtrail colleague, right? And so many ex-folks came in and we just had a good time, right? I think sometimes life is just not transactional. You just got to kind of live
course.
life.
Yeah,
And I think that really helps because then, and our business also is such, Shobhit. We're not a tech company that everything goes by code, right? It's empathy. It's a moment of truth. So if you're not empathetic towards people, if you're not able to make people smile at their workplace, how will they smile to customers?
It is a very important point because there are a lot of businesses, whether it's, things like food delivery or consuming some content, it's instant gratification, but you don't necessarily feel very good afterwards. Whereas Pickyourtrail, I think, is one of those businesses where you're actually giving experience, joy, happiness, connecting people, families, friends, which is it's a blessing.
That's what we try and do in our induction, right? For you, it could just be one trip that you're looking at. But for that person, it's their dream, right? I mean,
Yeah,
it could
as
be
you said, people spend 12 lakhs, 10 lakhs, but they don't get a single purchase for that travel. So it's, it's one category where people spend so much amount of money and you're not getting anything in return.
That's why souvenirs is such a big thing in travel, because that's the only thing you take back as a memory. Fridge magnets, t-shirts, right? Because you spend so much, and if you're not able to deliver that memory, right? I mean, then we're doing something fundamentally wrong.
Yeah.
But this is a good lesson for us as well. We are also, money is ancillary. I keep telling my team as well,
It truly is. I mean, we've been fortunate that in our journey, right, we're here now at a point where we're able to say this. But I think, I remember we keep chatting. He quit and then he said, okay, kuch karenge. I was like, dude, how are you managing? It's crazy.
So, a very critical part of your life always has been and continues to be cricket. You guys partnered with ICC?
Yes.
How did that happen?
We were actually, we work with Australia Tourism Board quite closely, and the T20 World Cup was supposed to happen in Australia. And so there was a big bet at that point in time, right? And we just raised funding 1 year before COVID. We had grown 3x, and we were like all hired, everything, new office, all set.
This was the T20 World Cup.
Yes, 2020. So we said we'll invest there also. We'll get tickets, ICC, everybody will go travel cricket, and cricket is generally close to heart. So we generally tend to invest in categories you are close to heart because you understand it better, right? And then we invested money. And then boom, out of nowhere, COVID came. Yeah. The tournament got cancelled. We had money locked in with them as well, right? So cash flow was a pain. Nothing against them. They also couldn't sell the tickets and make money, right? So I think we're lucky coming out of the pandemic or during the pandemic, the IPL moved to Dubai.
Yeah.
So we managed to handle CSK's logistics.
Right.
So some revenue came through that engagement. The morale uplift in the org was also there because of that.
So you are a Mumbai Indians fan, yeah? So how do you stay in Chennai?
I'll send you a reel. Today I was watching it, right?
Yeah.
My hearing these days is that reel.
We just saw, you shared it on our group today, last night. I think you had this auction thing that you did with R. Ashwin.
Yes.
How is Ashwin?
No, so we've been fortunate. They travel quite a bit with us. So I said I jumped all in CSK first of all, and cricket. And Ashwin, I'm sure he's super intelligent, right? So it was a good experience just to be with him 6-7 hours to see how he thinks about it. And the passion even shows there, right? I mean, the amount of effort, it's a mock auction, right? And nobody will see what I'm going to say. Yeah. But the amount of effort his team had put in to prep us.
So this auction has already happened or?
It's happened. So we shot it on Sunday.
Till a few years back, for a cricketer, and cricket being the most popular sport in India, there were only 2 or 3 post-retirement options. You could be a commentator, you could go into administration, maybe you could start a coaching institute. I think Ashwin is writing a new playbook, which is obviously a new one given the internet and social media, of how do you continue to monetize your brand through multiple. You create your own franchise on digital. But what he's doing with the Kutti stories, and he's continuing to build his brand on digital, it's quite amazing to see that.
See, that's also an entrepreneurship lesson, right? Yeah. Because somewhere he's fearless. When you talk to him, you'll realize that he doesn't care. And somewhere you have to have some.
I remember the match which he played to the T20 World Cup against Pakistan, when Ashwin came and Kohli was batting on the other side, and he left that ball which went wide. I was like, how can you leave a ball at this stage of the match? And he was like so confident, he just moved. No, he is amazing.
So he's tried multiple things and he continues to believe that, and that passion also is there. One is risk-taking, second is passion. He's extremely passionate. The amount of information they gave. And after you buy players, right, they give you the names of players you bought. That's shaped like a bale. So there's no need. You just put some cardboard and given, right? It's not even shown. I don't think it'll get featured in the YouTube. But there's so much that happens behind the scenes. I don't know if you guys have seen Apple packaging. There's a reason to the packaging of what Apple does. And there's no need for them to put so much effort.
But on this one, cricket, and maybe also for the younger generation, I think there are so many times you can reinvent and revamp your career as well. You know, I mean, it's not only with Ashwin. If you look at Rahane for that matter, now he has started to become an influencer. But if you see his posts, they are really nice, and he has started to invest as well. Yuvraj Singh,
Kohli, for example, Kohli is doing.
Kohli has started his own brand and is doing phenomenally well. Yeah, this is.
Have you seen these shoes?
Yes. Oh,
this is the Sydney cricket ground.
This is new one. I think launched about a month back.
Sachin Tendulkar scored 241.
I don't know if you've read Sam Walton's book. at 42 is when he started Walmart.
Yes.
Right. So I think this entire thing ki abhi karna also is too much pressure. At 42, if you can start Walmart and make Walmart what it is today.
KFC founder. He started at 50 plus.
So many examples exist, and especially with longevity. Shobhit, I think, is the proponent of longevity here. So I think you should even aspire to start at 65.
So that was one more question on cricket. So you are a Dhoni fan. Yeah? So if Dhoni, in a hypothetical situation, I don't think he'll ever leave.
There are rumors, by the way, that mid-season he's going to retire.
If he changes his team, would you follow him or would you continue to be a CSK fan?
Changing team will not happen.
Yeah.
But one of the things we did, I'm hoping this will come out after the Ashwin series, is we caused furor in the auction by making Dhoni an impact player. imagine a room filled with cricket stats and nerds. If the reaction was, how dare you make Dhoni an impact player, right? What will happen? I think it is inevitable, right? All signs are there. Samson's here. And you got to add one more slot. And Dhoni was playing at number 7, number 8 last season. Now, if they get Cameron Green, then the firepower is Brevis, Green, Dubey, right? Matre, right? Samson. So I think it will happen. But the good thing is his love for Chennai is real. See, sometimes, that's what, right? Sometimes people fake it because they have the brand persona and money is coming in. But the guy truly cares about I think then that's what you need, right? Because then you're not looking at very transactionally, and then the trust is inherent.
His style of leadership vis-a-vis, let's say, someone like a Kohli has been studied, it's been written about, it's been talked about a lot. One of the things that I always used to find very fascinating was he would pick his players. Whatever the method to that is, whatever his science to that is, he would pick the players and he would say that I'm going to back you for this series, for X number of seasons. You have my back. You make sure that you perform. And it was quite surprising. He did it for India. He did it for CSK. What is there a leadership lesson in that for us as well?
Totally. I think I'm just going back to that mock auction. I didn't know this till I heard it there. Apparently, GT also is very similar to CSK style. And if you see, GT is doing really well. Right? Somewhere they make the team feel secure. And now if you see Jadeja moving there, I think it's
even
like
Mumbai Indians, for that matter, for the longest time till they used to do this, it was a very successful team.
I think Mumbai is great at spotting talent. Yeah. Bumrah, almost all great
no,
players.
But also they backed Rohit Sharma for the longest time, and Rohit Sharma backs somewhat similar to Dhoni as well in way he captains the team as well.
Clearly, the fact that you want to back your team is there, and again goes back to time. There are two concepts, right? There is shareholder value and customer value, right? And you take pharma as a category. You cannot invent a drug in a quarter. Yeah. So suddenly shareholders are okay with patience with the pharma firm. But when it comes to consumer firms, you're not that patient. And it's not possible to do what is right for every letter of Jeff Bezos talks about long-term customer value. Only if you have that long-term value, you'll also back your team long-term. If you're so short-sighted today, then you'll also then make hire and fire. I don't subscribe to hire fast, fire fast in general. Then that takes away the quality of hiring a lot.
But also, I think the other lesson which Dhoni and some of the great leaders demonstrate is when to step down as well.
It's very easy to feel insecure or you've been at the helm for so long and suddenly, and that gracefully in a play, a Sutradhar is very important. A Sutradhar is never visible. Yeah. But he's the one doing all the direction and controlling the stage if it's done well or not. Dhoni did it beautifully. He took a step back. He would be available if you need, but otherwise he's a great keeper and doing his job.
What is your view on the current Sutradhar, Gautam Gambhir?
I think a coach has to be a coach first.
I think Gambhir is a very good coach and he's going to shut all of his critics as he has done very often. He's someone who sticks to his guns and I think he has a method to the madness. But just one more thing on sports in general. India now thankfully has heroes that go far beyond cricket. Yeah. And some of them have traveled to Pickyourtrail. So there is, the ones that come to mind is Neeraj Chopra, more recently Gukesh. How do those things happen? Have you had interactions with those guys? I'm guessing Pickyourtrails interest in supporting them also is coming from your interest in sports.
Yeah, sports I think is pretty much we want to support. In fact, we had a women's cricket team. Shefali also traveled with us. We want to try and do more.
Oh, you were supporting the Indian women cricket team.
We try and do trips for them, sports folks. So they did it. Shefali went with us to, I think, Dubai. Neeraj went with us to Dubai and Maldives. Gukesh was more domestic. I think the idea is, yes, it's sports. So it's easier. You're not, see, one part of it is awareness and marketing, right? But I genuinely feel marketing, when done without passion and involvement, and also I think some bit of it came from being shameless, and COVID taught us that when you've seen death, near death, suddenly you become a lot more risk-taking and shameless in life.
A lot of people hesitate to be vulnerable, to show your vulnerability, and that, I think, showing it to the team, I think that inspires them.
So we had our brand film launch last 2 weeks back, and I teared up.
I remember you AFAQs, the website where you would refer, and it had featured Pickyourtrail. It was, how did it feel?
Like I said, it is 10, 11 years, 12 years of wanting to do a brand film, and to finally have the financial capability, the team being there to execute it, to run it, to conceptualize it, and just to be there, I think was a surreal moment. I think it finally felt for 2 days empty, because suddenly there's one big purpose that's kind of checked off. I think that's when you have to go back and say it's still day zero. And you come back, and then, because it's very easy to just, like, you've climbed a hill and the view is insane, then where's the next peak?
We'll give you the next peak, because we, Shobhit and I, one of our products is Poroscope, which actually does content creation, and in a very smart manner. So we should find ways to
You can create TV
work
commercials
together
without doing the actual, I mean, it will be a lot more efficient, faster, cheaper.
But coming to the Gen Zs, what kind of patterns do you see, in their travel? And also, looking at where the technology now is, or how people discover travel. Now you have Instagram, where you have influencers, where people tell you where to travel, what to do, what experiences to have. So in that context, how do you see this, because this population, this category will keep evolving. And second, where does Pickyourtrail fit into that?
One, clearly Instagram drives a lot of their choices, and rightfully so, right? Travel is always an inspiration-led category in some sense. You see something in the movies, you want to go there, right? So I think it's always been that way. For us, it was movies. DDLJ, Switzerland rode the entire Yash Raj. I don't know if you know, Yash Raj has a statue in Switzerland. That's how powerful movies are, and Instagram's kind of picked up. And I think with Instagram, influencers have also picked up. So I think it's a beautiful way of discovery. And they like the fact that it's disposable income. It's what's happened also in the last 2-3 years. A lot more countries have become visa on arrival for Indians.
Yes.
A lot of low-cost carriers have come in.
Yeah.
So I think affordability is a very big aspect of Gen Z travel. So they're able to experience, and that's happening. What's also happening is, like I said, they're looking for company. So what we call social travel. And like you said, experience seeking. So concerts, right, sports. I think the interest is going through the roof.
As more of a distant observer, it seems to me that you guys have really planted the seeds to what is about to happen. And what is about to happen, in my view, and maybe Sreejan will agree, when we got out of business school and we started traveling the world, between that 2010 and 2020 period, that decade, what changed was every major airport that you would go to, whether you're at JFK or San Francisco or in Paris or in London or in Sydney or in Tokyo, you would see the luxury goods would have a sign in Mandarin, and at least one salesperson, if not many, will be Mandarin speaking. Yes. And the reason why it happened was because China emerged out of its shell. People had disposable income, and the Chinese travelers decided we need to see the world. But it is clear that it has already started happening. Indians with disposable income are going and traveling more. So this market that you're catering to is going to continue to become larger. Yes. Now, in that case, you also can expect certain headwinds with Instagram, but also the AI tools that are becoming, at the moment, they are more top of the funnel that people are using for discovery, for trip planning. Eventually, they seem to be keen on going bottom of the funnel as well, and saying that we'll help you execute transactions. So as Pickyourtrail, how do you see those as competitors, or do you think that you also some way integrate with them in the future?
My view is today, where they are, they might become a marketing funnel. Even today, we get a lot of leads through GPT, LLMs. So that's today they're acting as a top of the funnel marketing. The category in which we are, so travel if you see is very broad. There's an OTA category and there's holidays, where we are today. I think the OTA category is the closest.
What is OTA?
Online travel agent. So basically flight booking, hotel booking. That's the first thing that will mostly get transactionalized in some sense, because flight is the SKU. The closest to an SKU you get is a flight booking, right? So for you to make a decision without putting in too much effort, it's got to be an SKU. You got to know what's happening. But in a category like even a hotel, leave alone a holiday, humans value choice.
Yeah.
Today, AI's fundamental premise is, I will take away the choice. Even today, customers come to us with GPT itineraries, saying, ye theek hai kya? Can I go ahead with this? Would you recommend something else? Because everybody thinks that personalization is some part of it which you have added value to.
Yeah.
I think that's a tricky part in our category, but I think flights for sure, we'll have to figure out how the interface would look like. But I think it's pretty much the same, because you type BOM, you type MUM. I mean, NLP is now very well evolved to understand all of the intent and sentiment and throw you.
I mean, it's you can very well use AI, LLMs, chat GPTs and all to help you in what you are doing and scale it up as well.
That's what our focus is actually under the hood.
Yeah.
Right, like we were speaking, while you may not subscribe completely, right? See, thinking, I don't think it can solve. So, tech architecture will still take some time, right? And that's where I think, like most things, choices in an organization, which architecture stack you take, right? Is it monolith? Is it microservices? I'm sure these are choices you make strategically, right? That I don't think AI is going to make for you today, right? But once you are clear about the choice, it can accelerate.
Yeah, it can help you a lot,
Look at it. So, tech, marketing, customer support, right? Sales, how do we improve calls? I think AI has to, I mean, the internal thing we say is, we used to be a tech company, we are now an AI company. Yeah. It's a new infrastructure rail. Technology was some infrastructure rail. Let's build on this infrastructure rail and see what is it we can do.
Yeah, because you are customizing travel for people. I think you can do more of that with 100%. Using AI. But from a customer perspective, people want to feel that, this is something which I chose, and then I went there and I thought this would be the experience, and I actually experienced it. So that I think cannot be removed, and that is where I think your moat is.
And I don't know if you've seen the new ChatGPT ad they've launched in India. They're not focusing anywhere on type. They're moving to voice. So voice is the next way to get slightly personal, right? So I think that's a frontier where it would still be AI, but it still would feel somewhere personal. Yeah. Which is not today in the case of just an LLM.
Pickyourtrail, I'm guessing that a team of 450, a lot of them will be very young.
Yeah.
What is the thing that you like about them? What is the thing that you think they need to change or improve on?
See, one thing I love is that they speak their mind, which is very important. I mean, we grew up trying not to always speak our mind, and sometimes that you're under pressure, right? So, but I think that's very good. You get a lot of ideas from them because you're not hesitant to open up and share what they think. Nothing really can stop them. I think they have that sense of the India that we grew up in. India today, they resonate the India today, a lot more bold, they're risk-taking. I find them, I learned so much about what's happening from them, and one of the key things I derive from them is the way that they are never ever happy with what they have. This is constant, you call it FOMO, you call it restlessness, it depends on how you look at it. There's always this need to do more. I need to be here, I need to travel, I need to do this. So that their ambition is great.
But I think, Hari, from their perspective, a lot of people's, our perspective as well, you have been successful in what you are doing, So if people have to learn or take away 3 learnings from your life and 3 things from your life which they should not do, what would those be?
3 things that they should not do.
3 things which they should do.
We start with not do. Not do
and
is
3
easier,
things
I think.
which they should not do.
I think it's same thing. What was your strength is your greatest weakness. I think less impulsive maybe. I'm very impulsive sometimes.
But that is a trait which we are seeing in a lot of founders, that they have to be impulsive to be successful. We were talking to Sahil yesterday and he said, what you should not take away is being impulsive. Shobhit, what is your view on this? Impulsive? They should learn or not learn from you?
No, I think you should not be impulsive.
He's of that category, right? He'll have 100 things in his head. It's the way he speaks, it's the way he carries himself. Suddenly you have time around him.
Yeah.
Slowly he'll speak. Right?
It's like Rohit Sharma hitting a pull shot.
Seriously.
By the way, Dinesh Karthik once asked him in an interview, you seem to have so much time. And Rohit Sharma said to him in Hindi, and I quote, "Arey yaar, time nahi hota hai. If you are in my place, I also have to shuffle very fast." So he, I think, gives the illusion that he has time.
Okay, so that is one.
Second thing is, I think I've improved, but one thing I truly wish I'd improved much before is being more kind with feedback. Sometimes you're very direct, and it may not really augur well with people.
But people should give feedback, isn't it?
Yes.
It's just that how you deliver is what you're saying.
I think.
And maybe understanding, be a bit more empathetic in the way
Being kind
you
and how you deliver. I think somewhere, sometimes what we do is we project ourselves, Freud, right, on others. And I'd love to have direct feedback. I love to be on the face to people, to me, but not necessarily everybody is that way. I think that's something I would love to change.
we are finding this consistency in all the founders. Yesterday, Sahil was also saying something similar, that you should not look at yourself and think that everyone else should be same like you, and then you kind of start to measure people with the same benchmark.
That's the third thing I was going to come to. I think it's that sometimes we all read that, your bars have to be high, all of that.
Did you speak to him before you came?
No. Because in that process of setting bars high, and it's like it's a transmission loss, right? So whatever you say, there's always a transmission loss through the org, right? So you end up raising the bar because it's transmission loss. But sometimes you don't know where is that bar so high that people give up even before trying. So knowing when to push the button, when not to push the button is an important learning.
But you should also talk about what people can learn from you.
One thing for me, I truly believe has helped is being passionate about what you do. I think it's a very, very cumbersome journey. In career building, you'll have bad days, good days, right? Deals get called off. So unless you're passionate about it, the wherewithal to sustain is going to be always tested. So, and that passion rubs on the team, passion rubs on, and so many people get energized, and the spark can come from anywhere, right? I think.
And that we can agree to as well.
Yeah.
We have seen you passionate about so many things in life generally as well, and I completely agree. That is amazing.
That's Sreejan's cold voice. I'm sure there's a layer below it.
No,
I hope it doesn't get captured in camera. So it comes from my sales experience, and it's something I'm actually now consciously doing more. This itself is a conscious exercise of me putting myself out there more. Somewhere in the journey, you tend to question yourself. Should I be too much on the face of everything? Taking anything you read or learn with context is important. Somewhere I think I drew myself too back, and now I'm again in the journey of discovering that vulnerability, authenticity, whatever words you want to give, founder branding. Yes. There are different terms for the same thing. I think it's important that people hear from you how you think about it. It helps you in building team. It helps you in attracting right customers. I think it's heavily underutilized, which is what you also nudged me right now. I think being authentic, being yourself, and being out there is something that we should do more often. Yeah. It's something I'm learning, I'm discovering, and in sales it taught me that you create your own luck. There's this beautiful article by Paul Graham on entrepreneurs and the 4 types of luck, and one of the lucks is just called show up luck.
He's a big believer in showing up, which is a great, and in fact it's one thing that to the earlier question, oftentimes I feel that the younger generation, as much clarity as they have, the one thing that they probably can learn from. I
want to talk about it. Sorry to cut you through. I talk to every new joinee, right, as part of the induction. And every time I ask them this question, so what are your hobbies? And man, I can't believe they don't get out. They just don't get out of the house. They're happily on Netflix and just chilling and swipe left, swipe right. We had to go to guitar class, we had to go play, we had to go to theatre to even see somebody else.
Everything is personal consumption as well.
It's crazy. And so, if you don't show up at all, you're so cocooned, right? And food comes home, everything comes home.
This is a big problem which when we were at IIMB, the professors were talking about as well, where now...
recently, Shaurya Mukherjee was talking about
that how now students are so much cooped in their rooms.
Because there also food gets delivered to the hostel.
It's crazy. Then how will you ever build show up? Like, how will you become sales guys?
We had most of our moments not in our rooms. We were in Athikas or in the football, volleyball, or somewhere in the lecture theatre.
Crazy. And look at most of the things we jammed and I did was not because we were okay, we'll do. I mean, I remember doing a project with him on some walkie-talkie something. I never ever worked with him before that. I think that's one thing I tell everybody. And sports is the easiest way to go out there and meet people, right?
So, Hari, what does success mean to you? What is success?
Success for me is many things at many points in time. But if you're today, I have a lot of passion doing what I'm doing. As long as I'm able to sustain this every single day, I think I'm successful.
Okay, we have the last part, which is we will ask you about the places that you would recommend to these different personas or archetypes, and you
Wow.
can think about it.
Very nice.
Because you've traveled almost 50 countries and different places.
But before that, before we go to other travelers, what are your, let's say, number one destination?
For me, number one is Varanasi.
Varanasi.
Yeah,
Wow.
that's always.
And
Thank
why?
you.
I think that place. See, somewhere it's got history, and I felt it in Berlin, and I felt it in Varanasi. I grew up in Madurai, so you really feel that the city has been there, and it's
And
seen.
now it has become so beautiful.
And
as
next
well.
time you go to Varanasi, you go together.
I'm game. Every Jan, I make it a point to go to Varanasi. So I think Varanasi speaks. Berlin spoke to me. You could feel it, right? And for me, that city is very humbling because, given all of you know, I mean, it's very narrow roads, right? It's buzzing. So many things are happening, and then you go on these small bylanes, and suddenly you just see death. From so much life in less than 2 minutes. It's contrasting max, right? All this energy that you have and you think you're purposeful, you're driving somewhere, you're accomplishing something, and to just, you're nobody there. It's a task for someone to just put you on a pyre and burn you, and you become irrelevant. So I spend time, every time in that ghat, just sitting there and observing that how we are all futile.
With your family, where would be your
Family
kids
is-
as well?
With kids, we went to Australia recently. I think Australia is a beautiful place.
Where in Australia did you?
I think beauty is Australia. We went all parts. So I think we went diving in Great Barrier Reef, right? So they loved watching clownfishes, Nemos.
They went all the way.
They did snorkeling. It was beautiful, right? I mean, that was amazing. Then we kind of came to, we went to see the penguin parade. So they saw penguins, they saw clownfishes, penguins.
The Phillip Island penguin.
Penguin parade. Then Jamala, I'd recommend all of you, if you have young kids, Jamala is a wildlife resort where it's in Canberra, near Canberra, and you can feed giraffes. So from a balcony, giraffes walk in and you feed giraffes. To see giraffes is a big thing, but to feed them, to see emus, I think it's a very beautiful experience there. Jamala was great. Then we went to the Yarra Valley region where we stayed in.
But you don't drink wine.
Vineyard.
Yeah, I don't drink so, but I mean, I went there for the kangaroos, right? I mean, you just seeing kangaroos, you open your window, the kangaroos outside. And then we went to the Great Ocean Road. So that was beautiful to just drive around. So I think, and the food scene, I love coffee. The coffee in Australia is insane, right? And the food is the croissant. I think it's a very, very nice family destination.
So we'll ask you some Gen Z slangs. You have to tell us whether you know the meaning or not. And you have to tell us the meaning. Just don't say, yeah, I know.
We'll try, okay?
Okay, start off with Delulu.
I've used it also, Delulu. Delulu is like a slang to say delusional.
Slay.
Slay? Yeah, you're killing it, bro. You're slaying it.
Yeah, this is very good. Eh?
Soft launch vacation.
Soft launch vacation. Soft launch vacation. Oh, I don't know.
Posting small hints of your trip without revealing everything.
It's a soft launch
So
vacation.
like people put their rings, for example.
Killing
We
it.
should do this
I am
in,
doing my Portugal on soft launch.
Chaos commute.
Chaos commute, I'm assuming it's just
Yeah,
you're chaotic and you're
chaotic
just having a very busy vacation. I don't know.
It's not even interesting Gen Z slang. NPC.
NPCI, I know. National Payments Commission of India.
I'll give you a hint. Whenever I tell this, people kind of figure out. Did you used to play any video games?
Yeah,
Or
but not the Counter-Strike one, so I wouldn't know.
the strategy games and all. There would be characters who would not be part of the
Non-performing
game.
guys.
Yeah, non-playing.
Non-playing
character.
captain. Characters, okay.
Non-playing captain. He always thinks in terms of
Sports.
budget baller mode, which you actually
I don't know,
advise
what
a
is
lot of
budget?
people. Budget.
Budget? What is it?
Baller mode.
Baller mode.
Like traveling
On
with
budget.
limited means.
Yeah, you're acing budget travel.
Zero effort travel drip.
Pick your trail.
Go.
Yeah, obviously. Thank you for the plug. Yeah, I thought you'll ask no cap. All of that I thought you'll ask.
That was the
There?
initial list, which was
Okay.
more interesting. Okay, who would you do a Dil Chahta Hai trip with?
Man, obviously. I have
The
to-
two of us.
Yeah, why not?
Why not?
Arey, Varanasi can become
We'll be driving past the ghats with all the dead bodies.
With all the aarti and then
Okay,
That's the spiritual Dil
that
Chahta Hai.
reminds me. Any memory from Three Idiots?
3 Idiots, I think the fact that Kareena Kapoor, what is it?
Fact that Karishma Kapoor. was
Kareena
not in
Kapoor,
the movie.
Kareena Kapoor was so freaking fair. I think I could never sleep for a night. I didn't expect her to be like washed with.
Actually, I saw her at some 3 a.m. in the morning. I got scared.
Same thing.
Ghost walking.
Ghost walking.
She was walking from
And Amir Khan's height. Right? That was like, dude. I mean, maybe he also had too much pressure. But I think the way again, going back to Vulnerability, he had no airs around him. He would come, play chess with us.
So who would you want to play you in a movie?
In a movie. Vijay Joseph?
No, bro. Always Talevar fan. Rajini. Rajini is always, I mean, how can we not?
I thought we might have moved on to Vijay
No,
Joseph.
no, Vijay. Rajini, any day Rajini. So one of my dream right now is to show our brand film to Rajini. So we're trying to somehow hustle and say,
Sure, we'll figure
can we
out.
try and figure out? He's too good.
Okay, we have the last part, which is a few Gen Z traveler personas. What are the places that you would recommend to them? Then they'll book it on Pickyourtrail, obviously. The budget backpacker.
Budget backpacker. So international India. Goa, I think is where most people
One
start.
international and one India.
I think Goa most people start, then Thailand.
Okay.
Any specific place in Thailand? Phuket?
Thailand now people start this full moon party. Man, it's a rave now. Wherever it's happening, everybody is going. I think it's a I don't know. I'm not been there. It looks like you've been there.
Oh, we go to Phuket.
But
No, but the full moon party,
no.
Koh Phang Nan, wherever it happens.
Not anymore. I mean, we are
Yeah, we were.
not the
Yeah.
party kind
Yeah.
anymore.
The remote worker and traveler.
Remote worker, I think the hills of, I think everybody goes to Uttarakhand. The entire place, I think it's known for its remote working ability.
But do you have sufficient
Yeah,
internet?
crazy.
Better than that.
A lot of Delhi folks move during this time to these places for remote working in the hills because air quality is better.
International?
International remote working, I think Bali is a remote working capital of the world in some sense.
Yeah, a lot of people
Yeah.
from Europe, US and
Everywhere. I think now there's having a problem. Local Balinese are not able to get houses because they've taken over.
The content creator or influencer.
Content creator, I think Vietnam is a big win. There's so much to show. Vietnam is doing well in content creation. Thailand obviously is great for content creation. In India, content creation, I think most people either try Northeast. I think it's a lot of interesting hidden places they try. Or Kerala, people come a lot.
Jaipur and all?
Jaipur also is good. Jaipur, Rajasthan is actually very good for content creation.
Wellness and soft life seeker.
Wellness to Kerala means, fortunately it's there. Wellness matlab Ayurveda matlab Kerala in India. I think Sri Lanka is great for wellness. Bali is very good for healing and wellness.
What about Rishikesh and that?
Rishikesh is okay. I think Rishikesh is slightly older people. It's slightly more expensive also, I think, Rishikesh. Wellness otherwise, I mean, I would recommend Finland, sauna. I mean, it's insane.
The eco-conscious traveler.
Eco-conscious traveler. I think India is still going to get someplace, but I think there is a lot of focus on sustainability. So in eco-conscious, I think Cambodia is something doing really well. Eco-conscious, if I had to say, Bhutan is
Amazing.
Yeah.
India? No place.
India, I think parts of India, Northeast, I think is going to be.
I think they are quite
Yeah.
clean. I mean, they are very well organized.
Indore, I was recently there. The cleanest city in India. I didn't know that. I mean, it's spotless.
It is clean.
Yeah, it's spotless. Surprising, entire city. It's not even like a small town. It's a massive city. It's very well maintained.
Indore is the
Yeah.
couple getaway.
Couple get away lots. Yeah, I mean, wherever they go, I think beach, mountains. Some people are beach people. Some people are mountain people.
Solo female traveler.
Solo female travelers. I think they love. Right now in India, there's this craze of hiking for people. So a lot of these either around Bombay, the Sahyadris, or northern parts of India, Spiti and all other places. I think that solo is doing well. Internationally, I think solo Vietnam is kind of somewhere nailed it from a solo perspective. And obviously Russia, for some odd reason, is a lot of solo requests for Russia and the CIS region basically.
And Africa?
Africa is basic. Obviously, either it's a very exotic destination even now. So either you got a strong wildlife enthusiast, photography enthusiast, or your kids, you want them to show them wildlife. That's when Africa works.
A lot of people go there for, like the Kilimanjaro travel, hiking and adventure sports and all. I think people do it a lot. Yeah. Luxury on a budget traveler.
A luxury budget, I think, in some sense, a lot of Southeast Asia is that. Southeast Asia is, you can, great value for money. I think Southeast Asia, insane. I think Thailand, some parts of Thailand, I'm sure you would have seen, the villas are insane.
Crazy, yeah.
Very cheap as well.
4-5 grand a night, you get
Service.
Food is very cheap.
Yeah.
Alcohol is
So
very
I was
cheap.
telling someone today in the wedding I met, I think a great place to settle is outside of India is Phuket. Great medical scene, right? Very
You
good
have international
lifestyle.
schools. Bangkok
Yes.
is actually
Very
very
well
popular
connected.
for people from India to settle down.
Yeah, I think people underestimate. I think Phuket is beautiful weather-wise also, and it's not expensive.
Adventure junkie.
Adventure junkie, I think in India, adventure is still debatable. We all keep reading. So, but water sports, Goa is good. I think that's always there. Like you said, trekking, if it's adventure, trekking. Ladakh, Leh Ladakh for adventure bike trips. Internationally, adventure, I think, New Zealand is the adventure capital of the world.
Culture and food nerd.
Culture, I think Rajasthan, food-wise, Rajasthan beats. And for people in South, I think, people who want to come down South, Kerala, TN, I think is a great.
Varanasi as well. Yeah, for
Varanasi also is home. Now, if you go in Jan, we'll have the Malai. Oh, amazing. Yeah. Right. So, I think worldwide culture, China's really picking up. Japan really, the food. And now Japanese cuisine is also really picked up in India. So, I think Japan is just doing very well.
And the last one is the Friends Trip Planner.
Friendship planner, I think, where mostly Goa, I think, so everybody starts with, where nobody goes. But internationally, I think, crazy, right? Listening to customer call yesterday, 10-member trip to Thailand, guys, and a 6-girl trip to Vietnam separately. And they're all friends, they're hanging out. And it's not a bachelorette, there's no reason, occasion, just going. Crazy. And Bangalore, you're lucky, you have so many direct flights.
Yeah.
Bangalore is one of the best airports today in India.
Do you have any travel hacks or advice for young travelers?
Yes, please book early. Please book early. I think we book too late. And if you book early, for example, your airline price to, let's say, Thailand can be as low as 13, 14 grand compared to a 30 grand that you would buy. And if you book early, everything kind of works out. And current Gen Z folks, I don't think leaves is a permission thing. Leaves is an information thing, right? So I think then you got to make use of that. Book early and always book when the flight is cheap. ये सोच के करेंगे types होता नहीं है कभी. I think when the flight is cheap, just book. That's how we did Perth. Perth, we were in a functional review. 30 grand round trip we got. I said, just book it.
Okay, I have a last question, and this is like I'll name a city, and you just give me one word what comes to your
awesome.
mind. Yeah, we start. Don't wait and think. Okay, Tokyo.
Tokyo is culture.
Singapore.
Singapore is skyscrapers.
Paris.
Paris is love.
Barcelona.
Barcelona is party.
New York.
New York is Christmas.
Melbourne.
Melbourne is coffee.
Phuket.
Phuket is massage.
Mexico.
Mexico is carnival.
Los Angeles.
Los Angeles is theme parks.
London.
London is colonial.
Seoul.
Seoul is bibimbap.
Good one. Shanghai.
Shanghai is futuristic.
Okay. Well done.
Super.